All right, good morning. This is Drew Drop, also Andrew, whatever, I don't know. It is 9 in the morning, um, and I got no sleep last night, but whatever. I've got Lauren here as my guest star.
Hi.
Yeah, he's
Hello.
he's here.
I'm helping.
He's kind of here. Anyway, I did this build back in August. Like, actually, I may have done the build in July. The video was done in August. As you can see, it's a tiny house. This is a shell made by RheydNJaden, and I was doing this for her tiny house walkthrough challenge that she does, which is really fun. And if you like doing tiny houses, you should totally give her challenge a try. I'll put her name and all her info in the description. Anyway, so here you see the house was just, as it was, just a shell. I had to work on the colors and the design, so right now I'm putting in windows and hello windows, yeah. And then also doing the outside of the house. This house was weird. I couldn't figure out colors for a bit, and then I ended up settling on this cool, like, green, like rusty green kind of vibe. I guess not rusty, coppery.
That looks old.
Is it rust if it turns into copper? Or when copper oxidizes, is that rusting?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Huh, okay, well, the more you know. I guess I'm gonna look that up, I guess.
Rusting is oxidization, so.
But I thought it only applied to iron. You know what? Never mind. Back to the video. So here you see I'm trying to look for some more like decorative stuff to put on the outside, give this house a little more like joie de vivre. What the fuck does that word even mean?
Like joy in life.
Sure. Okay. And so I'm adding these planters. You can see I'm making some small and putting them in there to add like a little extra pop. I end up going.
Pop.
They don't need. Yeah, they do pop. I end up going with like a garden themed house. Like the house and the person who lives here is like obsessed with nature, and so they have the tiniest house possible on this lot. And I end up adding like a shit ton of landscaping.
Seems like an okay idea.
I love this wood. Basically, we're like reacting to this video because I don't remember any of this because I did it like several months ago. It is currently December 12th, and I finished the video on August 5th. So that tells you how long it's been. It's also, like I said, we haven't slept, but I need to get this recording done. So I'm lifting up these beams, changing the roof. I decided to go with the corrugated metal because it looks like it's all rusty and oxidized. Added this satellite dish. The bedroom was really tricky because...
That's a small space.
Yeah, it's a small space. And I like to have a double bed in an adult's bedroom, even if it's really small, just because I think, like, you know, they're an adult. They probably don't need a twin. But I ended up going with the twin because it was just too fucking small. So I did a lot of finagling in this room. Apparently a lot of people busted down that wall that I'm putting stuff on. Yeah, that one right there. And like made a room in that section underneath the roof. But I didn't know if that was allowed by the rules, so I didn't do that. Later, Rhey told me that it was totally fine. So I could have done that, but I didn't.
It's okay. They got a small little room instead.
Yeah, and
it's pretty cute.
Look at these great curtains, and so now we got to decorate downstairs. It's really fucking dark. I am very picky about lights. I like to make sure that everything is well lit. Right?
That's lit.
Yep. Just adding in some different things, trying to see what works right now. What are those sconces? I don't know what the fuck anything is called. Remembered I had to add a bathroom because there was nowhere for this person to pee. So this is where the bathroom goes. I learned how to make this technique watching Miss Griffey and her tiny house builds. There was one that she did that I basically copied because I was trying to learn how to do what she was doing. And it was really interesting to see how she managed to fit an entire functioning bathroom in a 3.5 square space. So it's a lot of finagling and making sure this stuff is in the walls. You can put a mirror over the sink, but your Sims are not going to be able to look in it because they're like, oh, there's no room. But that's okay. Adding a stove, kitchen, area. I think I end up making the stove red, but I don't remember.
Got a nice butcher block.
Oh, yeah. Look, recolored it. Yeah, that's a nice countertop. And then couch, which goes under the stairs. I like that the couch is totally functional. This table was tricky because I wanted to have enough chairs for it to seem like a normal table, but it's really hard for Sims to get in between the wall and the chair, so I had to fuck with that a bit. This is kind of like a quirky-ish house, so you can see I'm like changing it up, trying to do different things with different lights. Because at this point, I have it in my mind that the person who lives here is like not just a gardener, but they're also kind of quirky and like unique and really into all this like nature stuff. So there's going to be a lot of plants later, different kinds of art and curtains and lighting. I feel like it all goes really well together. I know some people get weird about certain color combos or like mixing things and whatnot. Oh, you can see that. Hold on. Right there, I'm adding in the fire system. So sprinklers and whatnot.
You gotta be safe.
Yep. And a thermostat. Anyways, there's some crap going under the stairs because it looked really empty. Moving that seat. But yeah, anyway, I know some people get weird about color combos and are like, oh, this doesn't go, or oh, this doesn't match. Bitch, like, so many things can go. It doesn't have to match. It can still go. There's things called contrast. There's things called complementary colors. Like, it's all good shit. You should look it up if that stuff confuses you. I'm sorry for being so sassy at 9 in the morning when I got 3 hours of sleep. Anyway.
That's sass.
That's sass, yep. And so yeah, I added a fuck ton of rugs, as you can see. Moved that tapestry around for the zillionth time. I just really like the homey feel that rugs give, especially because I don't really like the carpets in this game. So I like to just go with nice floors and put a bunch of fucking rugs, and it ends up looking really nice. Here I'm putting around a spattering of plants. At this point, I was just trying to fill more of the space, make it look more lived in and cramped, even though it's not, I mean, it's not like cramped, it's supposed to be cozy. This outside area, I remember I was really confused about what to do here. I just sort of threw a bunch of plants out here, and I figured I'll organize them later.
Did they get organized?
Yeah, they got organized later.
Okay.
It looks really nice in the end. Wait until you get to we get to the part where I landscape.
Oh,
This
wait,
is-
that bathtub is full of plants.
Yeah, it's a decorative planter bathtub. It's really cool. I like that item a lot. I put it in
Sweet.
a lot of my builds because I think it looks really cool. We got just like lots and lots of plants.
You have hella plants.
Lauren likes plants, don't ya?
Yep, they're cool.
Yep.
Can't complain.
Yep. Nope. I mean, you tried to grow trees this year out on the balcony.
Yeah, and some of them are still alive.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know how you grow a tree out of a branch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of those didn't work.
Oh, I love that. I put that right there. The garden tools. Those are cool. And then, of course, the hose. Y'all know I always like to put that hose somewhere.
Otherwise, how will you water your plants?
Exactly. Your 10,000 plants. They all need to get watered. Adding some shit in the kitchen. Let's see. There's oh yeah, I love the block of knives. We need to get something like that. Actually, I think we do, and I'm using it to hold the cutting boards in place. Yep,
Yeah,
that's exactly what is being...
I did indeed bring a block of knives.
Lol.
Knife block.
Alright, so now I'm getting started finally on the landscaping. I really wanted to cover up that area of the foundation by the front stairs because it just looked awful because it kept clipping really bad. Which, I mean, that's not Rhey's fault. It's just how the game do be like that sometimes. Adding these hedges, trying to make it like cleaned up a bit. We end up with like a shit ton of these, pretty sure. And then I go kind of hog wild with the landscaping. So what I wanted to be able to do was have fully working planters. And I originally went with this square idea because it filled up the space really well. But when I started like airbrushing the ground, I don't know, it just felt really uninspiring. So I ended up moving to round planters, which you'll see in a minute, and then doing like a whole thing where there's like I don't know how to describe it. You'll see in a minute. But anyway.
This lady's veggie gardens. No, wait. They got a fountain.
But, like, what was frustrating was when I was trying to play test it, a lot of stuff didn't want to work. So I had to adjust a lot of the planners that I was doing because I want my builds to be playable. I don't just want them to look good. I want them to look good and also you can, like, use them. So here I am just airbrushing some texture onto the ground. What really sucks is I did, like, a whole bunch of shit. I spent, like, 2 hours doing this. And then I didn't save or something happened and I lost all of it. And so I was really upset. Managed to go back in. I think this is some of the original stuff. And then eventually I cut to the new stuff that I ended up with. And yeah, so that sucked when you're just like, oh man, I ran all my work and it's gone. It's just the landscaping that I lost was a bunch of that. It wasn't it's like 2 hours worth of landscaping. Damn. Sometimes I find that the landscaping takes as much time as the building, and then you have to do the interior, and I'm like, oh my god, so much of this building stuff takes up so much time. Okay, so the change in lighting, you can see everything is a little bit different. That's because this is the part where everything broke, and I started playing, and I was like, okay, good thing I took a couple pictures. You see here, what I originally did was those pots, the planter pots were actually in the shrub, grass, moss stuff that I like to put down at the bottom. But unfortunately, the Sims are too dumb and weren't able to access them because they didn't want to walk on the grass or whatever. So I had to move them out to the edge, which doesn't look as good. Let's be real, it just doesn't, but it works. There's still some finagling I had to do as I was playtesting with a Sim. I had to move some of the pots because she'd be like, oh, I can't access this one. Oh, I can't access this one. And I'd be like, fuck, so I'd have to move that one. Here I'm adding some plants. I like to stick with just a few of the same kind of ones in order to, like, keep a semblance of cohesion. So I put down a bunch of those big ones and then some more. Here comes some others. I don't know. Cohesion is nice. You don't want to use, like, so many plants that it looks confusing and convoluted and complicated and all this stuff. I also feel like during the course of this build, I bought a pack. I think I bought the Romantic Gardens pack, and so I was able to end up putting some stuff from there in this build. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Nice.
Like putting some of these bushes up against the wall. This one's from Island Living. Adding some more. Another one of those. Bad boys. If you're not good at landscaping, this is a good technique, just covering a bunch of the area with the little patches of flowers, and then it just makes it look really nice, and you can just stick other things on top of it, and you don't even have to trip. Like, if you don't think that the textures look good enough, I really like the way that it looks when you add the those little patches of flowers and grass.
I like how the path is turning out.
Yeah, and then we added some lavenders. I love lavender so much. They attract bees, though. Like hella bees.
Bees?
Bees? One time, my mom and I went to a lavender farm over in, God, I think it was like Squim, somewhere by Port Angeles. I don't know. And it was super fun, but oh my God, there were hella bees. And they were telling us, they're just fuzzy little bumblebees. They weren't going to hurt us unless, they felt like they were in danger. So we were fine, but I was pretty nervous because, like I said, hella bees. There were just so many. But, that's not a problem that my Sims have because, they don't really have bees except for in the bee planter box, which doesn't do anything other than, what it does with its box. Adding some rocks here. I feel like I'm going to just use all of this audio that I did here in the one take and just call it a day because I don't really want to do it over again. So here I am shrinking down some rocks, adding them all over the place. I haven't figured out yet how to deftly do these builds without making it a complete nausea fest for any viewers with me just zipping round and round with the camera. But, it is what it is. It's a learning process. Those are some hydrangea bushes. Those are nice. Add some more hedge. I believe I do some more texturing with the pathway. I don't know if I stick with that cobblestone. I think I do some stuff with like sand, and then I put other stone on top of the sand, and it ends up looking really good. I like adding those spots of blue. I don't remember what those flowers are called. I feel like they're just small hydrangeas, but that seems wrong. But yeah, building in The Sims is crazy because you're just like, oh, okay, I built the house, and building the house is hard. And then you build the house and you're like, all right, now I got to decorate the inside of the house. Okay, great. That takes as much time, if not more, than how to build the house. Then after that, you got a fucking landscape. Okay, here we go. I'm doing the sand now. Oh yeah, that looks really good. I really like using these brushes and just kind of like basically painting. It ends up working really nice, and it just looks super fresh. Like, look, it's now, there's like this nice path. And then I'm gonna do some blending and shading with it in just a second here. You can see I'm trying to fix up that path. Nice little areas. Do.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I add some of this darker stone with a lighter transparency on top of it. So you can see that the other stuff is kind of on the edges, and this darker stone is more like what they actually laid down. I don't know. It's not really flagstone. I don't know what the fuck it is. And adding more pots because girl's gotta have more planters. She ends up with like, oh my god, so many planters. And what I ended up doing for the build challenge, because I wanted it to look really good when she streamed it and live tested it and checked it out, was I went in and I manually, using cheats, grew all of the plants, made one by one, made them all high quality, so they were the best quality plants, and they were all fully like blooming. Oh, it was such a pain, but they ended up looking really, really good, so I'm glad. Well, with these mixed up colored chairs, I wanted it to be like she got all of her stuff from maybe like a flea market or a thrift store, and so they like kind of went, but not really. And now I'm adding some lights. I like to make it dark when I do this so that I can actually see how the lighting works out, which,
Smart.
I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't know if everybody does that, but that's just what I like to do. You got hiccups?
This entire time.
You've had hiccups this entire time? I have not noticed. Oh, damn. They're getting bad.
It's been rough.
I hate hiccups. When I get hiccups, I find that I get them, and then, like, the rest of the day, I'll get them again multiple times. Oh, yeah, here I'm adding more, going in and adding more of that texturing with some dirt, because it wouldn't make too much sense to have cobblestone underneath the plants. So I put some dirt under there, smoothed out some of the actual path, added a path in the front here. I think I also, I don't remember if it was this build. No, it was a different build I'm thinking of, where I had a path going along the right side of the house, and that looked really nice. So here you can see adding a big ass tree and some more flowers to the front, because I realized at this point that the front yard had not been done, and I was like, god damn it, I've spent at this point like 5 hours just on the backyard, and now I have to do the front yard. Ugh. So I kind of didn't do too much in the front yard. I was like, I'm gonna add this huge tree, put a little dirt around it, maybe some grass, just a little bit of plants in the front, call it a day. Like,
It's more fun to work in the backyard anyways.
well, you would know. I wouldn't know.
Why would you want to work in the front yard when you have a sweet backyard?
Well, I don't know. Some of us don't have a yard. Although at my parents' house it's 3 acres, so it's like a buttload too much yard.
It's just all yard.
It's all yard. It's like you have front yard, backyard, and 2 side yards, and what do you do with it?
You sit on your riding lawnmower all day, just riding around.
Yep, that's what my dad does. It's like his hobby. Oh, my feet are cold. I need to put socks on. Okay, so you can see here that my sim is going through. I don't remember her name. I think her last name is Garrison. And she is planting. I don't know why that was relevant. But she's planting, and now we're doing last minute stuff. Is this video almost over? Oh my god, we still have like a minute left. All right, adding some statues because I think they kind of bring it all together. I don't really care for gnomes in real life, but in The Sims, I think it really helps like add that extra.
Add some figurines.
Yeah, some figurines, some gnomes, that fairy. I think I moved that fairy like 3 times. What the fuck is happening? Oh, this is a panel view. I see, but it looks like shit. I don't know why it's black and white.
It's a retro filter.
And I don't know why it's
intentionally made retro.
Now this looks good. Look at that transition. I did a good fucking job with this. I'm sorry. Like I said, I made this video months ago, so this is all new to me. Damn. Holy shit. Nice. Yeah, that's it's called the Green Thumbs Castle. If you want to download it, it's on the gallery. It probably has a fuckload of stuff in it from other packs, so make sure that you're able to play it. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this build, and I'll probably put out another one soon.